Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Can we talk about Sonic Adventure 2? That's right, we're back here again. The Can We Talk About podcast, talking about an old video game. We are talking about Un Game, Kristen. It is part 2 of that game discussion, is all our talk of Sonic Adventure 2 from 2001. A lot of numbers. It's tough.
You wrote it like that on purpose.
I am a slightly too orange shade of tails. My name is Joe.
I gotta tell Sonic. I'm Kristen.
And we are playing Sonic Adventure 2 through 2 different platforms, myself on Steam, and Kristen, you got your PS4, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, well, what have you been playing on your PS4 recently besides Sonic?
I'm still playing Tales of Berseria. That's about it. I have no idea how far I am into it.
That's right, you mentioned that like 2 months ago.
Well, yeah, I'm, again, very slowly. I've been preparing for a convention, so I haven't had a lot of video games times recently. I almost bought a Zero Time Dilemma, but then the Amazon link disappeared from cheap-ass games before I could, so Zero Time Dilemma continues to elude me.
Damn. I really only bring this up, Kristen, because now it came out a little earlier for the consoles here, but on Tuesday of last week, Sonic Mania came out on Steam, and Sonic Mania is a very good game.
I saw some footage of it, and it gave me, like, tinglies. It looks very, very good.
I was gonna say, it's a very pretty game.
It is. I was watching some of the chemical plant stages, and man, the, like, injecting into the goo, it's just very visually satisfying. I also just noticed that in your notes you wrote my name is Kirsten.
Did I? Nice. Yes. I'm glad.
Like that hasn't been happening to me my entire life. You're my brother, how dare you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kirsten Dunst on the podcast. What was it like kissing Tobey Maguire upside down?
Go fuck yourself.
What was it like in Small Soldiers?
Go to hell.
Did I say I watched Small Soldiers recently? Did I do that on last week's podcast?
No, I don't remember you saying that.
I edited that episode yesterday, so I watched Small Soldiers recently, if you want to talk about Netflix real quick.
Not particularly, because I haven't watched anything because I've been sewing.
I remember Small Soldiers being a pretty good movie, and I was right, and I feel like it deserves a little more. Although, it's directed by the guy who did Gremlins, and it's not beat for beat Gremlins, but it's very close.
Interesting.
Just with toys instead of Gremlins.
I did just remember, I have been revisiting Style Savvy Fashion Forward on my 3DS also recently.
Very good.
I just keep going back to them dress-up games.
Now on to the game itself, Kristen. If you remember in our last episode, we left off right before the climatic battle, the final confrontation of the hero story of Sonic and Shadow. Sonic just broke out of a fucking prison island and, like, hitched a ride on a rocket. Like, that happened.
Yeah.
That happened in Metal Harbor.
You know what? It is so jarring, the transition between all of these things that are happening with the prison, that at some point when I was playing this time, I was like, is this jungle on the prison island? And it is.
Yeah, I think Prison Island is just like an aircraft carrier or something.
No.
I don't know, like from the way that it looks, I have no idea. Anyway, so they got a fight at this point, and that's where we're going to be starting off that fight. Sonic versus Shadow. The end of the game. We've got 2 more parts, but it's the end of the game. Let's fucking get to it, Kristen. Kristen, this fight takes about 15 seconds.
So yeah, I learned purely from observation that if you just run into your enemy hedgehog, it stun locks them and prevents them from bouncing back off of you when you do the homing attack on them. So you you just kind of like chest bump them, like, and then you murder a hedgehog.
I had no idea. I just remember from this fight here when you're playing as Sonic and you hit Shadow the first time, he goes, "Ugh, I'm the coolest."
Is you a thing you want to talk to us about, Shadow?
The boss fight's pretty simple, which is, you just wait for... If you're not stun locking them like you are, Kristen, you just kind of wait for the homing attack, and then you attack their spines for some reason, which you think would hurt.
Nope. Hedgehog. Cancel out Hedgehog.
So, when you beat Shadow, and I'm going to be honest, I forget if this is actually something Sonic said, because I wrote it in my notes here, and both fights... I mean, I did the fight last time for part 1, basically, so I don't remember how the Shadow fight really plays out.
Yeah, I did it last time, too. It takes 2 seconds. It was so tempting to just get it over with.
In the Dark Story, when we get to this fight, I honestly forget if it's Sonic or Shadow that just, I see. So you're not just a normal hedgehog. I mean, you're bipedal walking around. One of them says that. I don't know.
Hey, awesome observation. The hero hedgehog is not normal, no.
So we start here after that fight and everything. They're staring each other down. You see the ching for Green Forest here. So you know you're going to have a forest level and you're going to be playing as Sonic. And
Nice.
so as they're staring each other down, Eggman gets on his little radio doodad here and tells Shadow that the island's going to fucking blow up with him on it if he doesn't get out of there.
And Sonic goes, blow up! He doesn't sound that shocked.
And he goes, I gotta find Tails and Amy, without moving his mouth.
Yep, he's a ventriloquist. Fun fact about Sonic.
Green Forest Kristen is a fun speed stage, but like many of the speed stages, it has a problem where you're running in. I feel like it's most apparent in this stage, where you're running in a straight line, or you want to try to run in a straight line, and you kind of end up running a little bit to the left or right, depending on, and you're hitting like an edge that isn't there, even though it's a half pipe. So you're kind of going at like 75% speed the entire time instead of 100% speed.
Yep. At the beginning of my notes for this, I did write 8 minutes. Oh, I love time limits. You do not need 8 fucking minutes for this stage, so this is a soft time limit.
No, it's like 3 minutes, 53 seconds or something most of the time.
I got 3 minutes and 2 seconds.
Oh, shit.
I don't think I died on this one either. Oh, wait, hang on. Let me check my notes here. I did write, there's a big bounce pad section. I got to the top, then flew down to the bottom, and I got onto the edge, but me trying to urge Sonic toward the edge made me actually walk straight off of it and down into the abyss.
Wonderful.
I had nearly 200 rings at one point, and then I walked off the edge of a cliff.
Jesus. Why are there so many half pipes in the forest, Kristen?
Hey, Joe. Fantastic question. Unfortunately, I am not a bullshit botanist.
So, Kristen, at the end of the stage as well, you're swinging on vines, which is something that, takes... I'm going to talk a lot about artificial stage padding in this episode, I think.
Oh, I think so.
Because I ran into it a lot. But, so you're swinging on these vines, which takes a good 3 or 4 seconds with, it doesn't really count as progress, so...
Yep. I did also make a note that the music for Green Forest is very good.
It is. You're right.
I remember this is one of the ones we had an MP3 of.
Oh, yeah. No, believe me, I still got the entire soundtrack downloaded somewhere.
I was thinking about seeing if I could find it on Spotify today.
So, Kristen, at the end of the stage here, the ground starts to collapse, which I remember very vividly because as a child when playing this game, I could have sworn that this caused me a lot of deaths when the ground doesn't even sink all the way to the bottom, so you could just... you don't have to hurry or anything.
I couldn't remember if it did or not, so I just kind of hustled to be safe. Because I felt like I remembered being in a situation where if you land far enough back, eventually you can't get up to some of the platforms and you're forced to walk off the edge. You would be able to complete them if you had the bouncy thing already, but at this point in the story, you do not.
No, I was able to get up just fine after waiting for everything to go to the bottom, so I guess we're just dumb as kids.
Hey, it's possible.
So... despite that kind of weird half-pipe shit, and it's still it's a good level with some good music, Kristen, I gave it 7 guitar riffs out of 10.
I got a D, so I'm gonna give it a D out of 10.
I got probably a C or a D, I don't remember.
And then, yeah, immediately after this, we get a really high-fidelity shot of the prison island blowing up, which answered my question that I did write earlier in my notes. Is this still the prison island? I said blowing the fuck up, but I spelled the wrong, so it's typed out HTE. Which I feel is tonally appropriate.
We see this twice as well. In this one, we specifically see Tails and the tornado flying out of there just in the nick of time, even though this is a pre-rendered cutscene as well, and we're seeing the terrible 3D models flying out of there.
It looks delicious. I want to eat it all up.
So we go back to the Dark Story at this point, Kristen. If you remember where we left off there, Eggman was just going to outer space.
He really does, in this chunk of game that we played, he's kind of just willy-nilly going back and forth, and it's not impressive anymore.
No, that's the problem, I think, too, is, he kind of goes just up into space, then back to Earth, and it doesn't even take that long.
No, it's pretty easy.
Lost Colony. Now, Kristen, Lost Colony is a boring level, plain and simple. I'm going to say most of the aesthetic of the Space Colony arc is not very appealing, because it's all very kind of drab and gray, and you occasionally get, the green electric goo or whatever, which...
I must have played this level last time by accident because I cannot for the life of me remember it.
All I remember, Kristen, is there's a part where you get on a platform that ascends and Big the Cat is hanging out in the corridor as you're going up.
Oh, that's interesting. We're going to talk about Big the Cat a little bit later.
One thing I also noticed, Kristen, I should probably look a little harder. I'm pretty sure Big the Cat's in every level, I think.
I definitely saw him in one, and again, I'll bring it up when it's time.
Well, in the Sonic vs. Shadow fight, because I forgot about that as well, there's like a grate, like a metal grate in this island that you're fighting on, and Big the Cat is under that grate. I took the time to look.
He's a pervert. A voyeur pervert.
Voiced by Duke Nukem.
Put him away.
So, Kristen, I gave Lost Colony 5 space colonies out of 10 because I have literally nothing to say about it.
Based on my vague memories of this level, 3 out of 10.
It hits exactly... It's not as bad as Sand Ocean. You get the hover boots, I think.
There were some railings, which I appreciate. Maybe a 4 out of 10.
So we've got Kristen. Eggman arrives at the central core or something where you set the Chaos Emeralds, basically.
Yep.
Shadow is here already and greets him and starts
Peaceful,
fucking...
man.
And he starts going off on how cool and great the space colony arc is, and a little history lesson, secret research lab, weapons of mass destruction like himself, and the Eclipse Cannon and a giant lizard? So the Eclipse Cannon is the main focus here, however. Yes. It has the power to destroy an entire planet, and Eggman's like, destroying an entire planet? Was this my grandfather's legacy?
Is that how you define a legacy? As Alexander Hamilton would say. Legacy. What is legacy? It's a giant cannon you never get to see.
True. Of course, it's powered by the Chaos Emeralds. I mean, it might not have been at one point, but it's got spaces where you put the Chaos Emeralds in it.
Who knows? No, it's for those other emeralds.
So, at least what Shadow says, it requires a lot of energy. He throws the green Chaos Emerald that he had in there, and it took me a second to realize, like, how they got all the Chaos... Because at one point they say, we have 6 Chaos Emeralds. I'm like, wait, how? Huh? What? So, Eggman had the white one. Shadow got the green one from Fort Knox or whatever in part 1. Rouge just has the blue one.
It was in my bra. Very pointy, very uncomfortable.
Pulls it out of her cleavage at one point.
Ow, I cut myself. Here you go.
And you steal 3 of them from Security Hall.
Yes, you do.
And Tails has the yellow one.
Yes, he does. Up his butt.
So that's 7. There we go. I had to walk through it.
I did realize this time through that's how they get all of them so quickly. When I was little, I definitely just didn't give a shit.
I think we skipped the cutscenes a lot, too, or at least didn't pay attention. I was like, I want to play the game.
Mm-hmm. And now that we are reiterating this, I definitely played this section of the game last time, and I'm not sure why.
This is all very generic villain plotty. It's one of those things where Shadow's just like, oh, you could use the power to have the world at your fingertips.
This is what we wanted, definitely, for sure.
Rouge arrives at this point, hanging upside down.
She's a brat!
Because he's a brat. Eggman's, giving his villain speech like, yeah, I could control the world. And Rouge is like, do you really think it's going to be that easy? Are you serious?
So she brings her bad voice acting to the table as well.
Everybody's got a pretty bad voice other than maybe Eggman.
Yeah, because, like, Shadow's fine, but he sounds, like, so disinterested in the events of the plot. And Rouge just sounds drunk.
It definitely goes to Rouge and Tails as the worst.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So Rouge offers to make a deal here. She'll look for the Master Emerald pieces for Eggman because they had a reaction with the Chaos Emeralds or something. She says something about a radar. I don't remember. I don't remember. Eggman goes, what's in it for me? Even though Rouge just said it's Master Emerald pieces is what's in it for you.
Pay attention, old man.
But no, because she also knows where the other Chaos Emeralds are, I guess.
Cool.
And this is where she pulls the blue one out of her cleavage.
Ow.
So Shadow nods to Eggman. Eggman's just like, should we trust this Batwoman? And he's just like,
whatever.
And Rouge introduces herself here. She's Rouge the Bat, but you can call her Rouge.
You can call me Rue. Make mac and cheese with me.
So Kristen, you know me, the Fightin' Freak Knuckles. And we're at Pumpkin Hill. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Knuckles is just at Pumpkin Hill to start. Is that gonna happen every time I say it?
So, yeah, one of the things that amuses me a lot about Knuckles, especially in the early stages, before he actually meets up with anyone, is every single opening of the stage, he's just looking around like, how the fuck did I get here? So he's just at a place with a bunch of ghosts.
He meets everyone by accident later.
Yeah, it's a very funny cutscene.
So, Pumpkin Hill is a spooky ghost stage. Lord knows where the fuck it is on the map of America / Central City / Station Square, wherever the fuck it is.
In Salem, Massachusetts. He flew real far.
There's 3 big towering areas of the stage, which again makes it pretty easy to guess where the emeralds are because you go to the part that's got the big tower.
Fly around until your radar pings.
Probably one there, yeah.
My first note for Pumpkin Hill is, why ghost things, Knuckles? Which I think is a good question. I didn't do great on Pumpkin Hill.
I got an A.
I got a D. So I died twice because, first of all, I went to the train place and
You got hit by the train.
I got hit by the train, and then a tank ran me over before I could get any of my rings back. So Knuckles got hit and runned twice. And then my last emerald in the stage was a bitch emerald that was under a mountain, and they expected me to be able to turn the camera and fly directly into it.
Nice.
Which is funny. A real funny joke. So I flew down into the pit, and then it threw me back up. It's like, here's another chance, Kristen. And I tried to grab onto something, and then I just fell down and died. So, again, rank D, hey, better than rank E. It took me 3 minutes and 47 seconds.
Kristen, the real winner of Pumpkin Hill is, of course, the music, which everybody always remembers, the music for Pumpkin Hill.
Like, the lyrics are very good, but the instrumental is amazing.
What I will always remember for Pumpkin Hill, Kristen, even though this succeeded Pumpkin Hill by many years, is that, you know that, like, interpretive dance of guy, local news channel with, like, wearing the black bodysuit with the pumpkin mask?
I do, because I've been on Tumblr.
It's that song and that video together, which is what will make me always think. That's what it'll always remind me of.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. 'Tis the season. Almost.
I give Pumpkin Hill 9 Larry Pumpkins out of 10 because it's good.
I like a 9 out of 10 too. Mostly because the one thing keeping it from that last pumpkin is that stupid train that ran me over. God, I died so many more times in this chunk of levels than in the last one.
Well, we're moving on here, Kristen, to Weapons Bed. Back in the Dark story here.
Time to take a nap on my weapons bed.
We are back on Prison Island. Eggman isn't happy.
Good, back here!
Eggman isn't happy that he had to come down from outer space.
I'm not either. I know you love the prison assets. Can we stop, please?
Eggman asks Rouge if her intel is correct, and she goes, "Believe what you want to believe."
That's not an answer, Rouge!
Eggman lays out the plan here, which is as such, Kristen, so okay.
Ugh, lay it on me.
Eggman's gonna distract the military by blowing up all their shit.
Sounds good.
Rouge is gonna take the opportunity to get into the cargo area where there are 3 Chaos Emeralds in the vault.
Why not put them in places other than the same place?
Now, Kristen, given that we know Rouge is an agent working for the President of the United States, it could be possible that they put them all there on purpose?
Okay. I'm less angry now.
It's possible. They don't say that, however.
I accept that as an answer.
And Shadow's just going to plant bombs everywhere.
Okay.
Which, considering, I'm pretty sure Eggman just says it's dynamite, and they blow up pretty big for dynamite.
They sure do.
Eggman says they've only got 1 chance and 30 minutes. Don't fail him.
Here's a question, Eggman. Why not more time?
I don't know why they only need... Maybe because military aid will be there by 30 minutes, maybe?
If they gave any kind of justification, even if it was bad, I'd be like, at least they tried. Eggman just seems to be arbitrarily deciding how much time something will take, which Rouge also does later.
Well, they all shove off here at this point, and let's start Weapons Bed. It is Kristen, it's Metal Harbor, basically.
Yep. Cool. There's some railings. That's nice.
However, I like this stage a lot, actually, because there's a lot of stationary shit that you could blow up, that you could target like 20, 30 things at once, which is great.
Yeah, I did get a little bit sick of the noise pretty quick, so I blew up every single thing I possibly could for like the first 2 sections. And I was like, I'm just gonna run past this shit, because there are things that are trying to shoot me. Probably
not a bad idea. You get like the super gun at this point, the thing that blows up the metal boxes in this stage, which Tails does not get for the entirety of the hero story that we played in this part.
Yeah, I feel like the bane of my existence in some of these levels is me not being properly guided to a place where an upgrade is, and just being confused, and then falling off of the edge of a thing.
We'll talk about that when we get to Mission Street.
Yeah, we will!
So, I gotta say, Kristen, I don't have much to say about... I mean, I think we've hit the point where there's really not much we could say about the...
They reused the assets for another thing!
The mech level stages?
Oh,
because...
you run forward and you shoot things. Sometimes you fall off the edge into sand a lot.
At least you got the hover boots at this point, which I think you get them in... You probably get them in Lost Colony. You probably.
You do, because there's that stupid maze that isn't actually a maze, and the camera doesn't pull out enough for you to know where you're going, and if you're Kristen, you run in a circle for 10 minutes. And you're Googling, how the fuck do I get out of here? It's not a maze as if it's a circle. Shut the fuck up, Omochow.
I'd say you get 8 stationary robots out of 10 for the Weapons Bed, because it's probably the best mech level, because the rest of them are stupid.
2 out of 10. Fuck it.
Dang. All right. Well, so Everyone followed Eggman here, I guess, because they're sitting on the fight area where you fight Tails, where Eggman fought Tails the first time.
Yep.
So, Kristen, I remember that we said last episode that Amy must be more perceptive because she's just like, aha, that black hedgehog. That's not Sonic. But...
See? Fool me once. You're not Sonic.
Amy is just like, Sonic, I can't believe you made it. Who the fuck? Wait a minute.
Amy, what are you doing on the prison island? Amy, what's she doing on the prison island?
I assume Amy went to the prison island to go see Sonic, but when she greets Shadow with, oh, you made it. You made it to prison.
I found you. I'm being transferred too. I went to big girl jail.
I don't know. I really couldn't tell you, Kristen. For some reason as well.
Joe, I have a question.
Yes.
Amy serves some kind of, Maria conduit function later in the story, right?
Possibly. I mean, Rouge does as well, so I think anytime Shadow looks at a lady, he's going to see Maria.
Because I think that's the only fucking reason she's in this video game.
Probably just because it's like, hey, where's Amy Rose? You got to play as her in the last game. What the fuck?
I don't care. You can't fool me. Yeah, she's a pink hedgehog. You think I'm going to like her just because I'm a girl? Go to hell.
So, as well, when Amy grabs onto Shadow here and is just like, wait a minute, who are you? Eggman goes, I should be asking the same thing. Oh, wait a minute, you're Amy.
And even Eggman's like, God damn it. Why here? Why now?
Eggman goes to threaten Amy here, which we saw previously. He puts down his goggles at this point, I noticed.
He's gonna solder her face right off.
He's wearing his goggles over his glasses.
Nice.
And Tails lands in front of Amy, of course, to save the day.
Lands on her toe and then she loses a toe.
So here's this fight again. Kristen, I had a bit more trouble with this fight compared to when your Tails fighting Eggman.
Oh, so I'm not the only idiot on this podcast.
Now, I didn't die, but the normal strategy is running directly up to Tails, shooting, just hitting B as much as possible, basically, or X or whatever. Mm-hmm. Actually, I just realized that the button prompts for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on Steam are still the GameCube ones, I think?
Huh.
No, because it says Y at one point, I think. Maybe?
I was jamming on circle to shoot.
It was giving me B for button prompts a lot of times. B would shoot and B would dig, but I was hitting X on the Xbox controller for that, so...
This is a really uninteresting conversation.
So, yeah, in this fight, it doesn't quite work if you just run directly up to Tails and use the melee attack on him and shoot him and shit. You gotta kind of...
I just circle strafed a little bit.
That's all you need to do is just circle strafe and it's easy.
We haven't gotten to the peak of my anger just yet.
So, Kristen... We're back to the hero story at this point. This is the first time we're going to see this cutscene this episode, because we see it twice. We've got Eggman on a big old TV screen here in Central City, Times Square, Los Angeles, Station Square, whatever.
Hey, do you want to see some super ugly people? Because, man, this game has that in spades!
It really does. You got a little girl whose eyes are about 50% of her face grabbing her mom's hand. I guess like, oh no!
I'm starting to think Eggman has the right idea and this place should get blowed up.
Eggman is standing in front of a green screen here, which in the background says things like Robotnik Empire. I am great. I am a genius.
Yeah.
I am brilliant.
Yes.
I am smart.
Those are his daily affirmations.
Eggman reveals here, he said this is the Eggman Empire, or whatever the fuck I'm going to be honest, because there weren't any subtitles, I wasn't really paying attention to what he was saying.
Villain world domination plan. I did notice I did have subtitles, and in one of these cutscenes they used the wrong form of there.
Nice. So, he reveals here the Space Colony arc, half of it blows up to reveal, like, a Death Star face, basically, that looks like Eggman's face.
Nice.
But it's not as cool as the Death Egg from Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
I can't remember what that looks like.
Can't you remember the title screen to Sonic and Knuckles, where it's, like, the Death Egg falls in a volcano?
Nope.
Man, that must have been fucking really threading the needle, how the Death Egg at the end of Sonic 3 just falls down from fucking Launch Base Zone just on top of a volcano.
Everyone was like, it's like watching the bouncing DVD thing hit the corner of the screen. Everyone was like, yes! Kobe!
He uses the Eclipse Cannon here to blow up part of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And
not that impressive.
Apparently it's not that impressive to the general public.
Joe, the moon is way smaller than the Earth. I know the laser looks like it would suck if it hit Earth, but it couldn't blow up the moon?
Fucking Master Roshi was able to blow up the moon.
Right! And he's a dude. He's not a cannon.
He's just a dude.
One man. Human.
That thing's not as powerful as a Kamehameha.
I mean, what is?
Very true. So, Kristen, we've got here a countdown of 24 hours with Eggman laughing, and we don't find out what that 24 hours is for until he doesn't tell anybody either. It's just a countdown.
Y2K, nerds!
Nobody in the streets is screaming or anything. They're all just kind of watching like, wow, Jackie Chan blew up the moon once. That's fucking not impressive at all.
Commentary on the disillusioned public and the violence in video games. And it was just written very badly.
How did the moon come back in Dragon Ball Z? I remember, wasn't there that whole thing?
There's some kind of explanation.
Where Piccolo was training Gohan when he was a kid, and he just sees the full moon, and Piccolo's like, oh fuck, I thought we got rid of that thing.
No, it's back.
I think he just said somebody must have wished it back.
I was gonna say, I guess they could wish it back. Literally anything is possible in Dragon Ball Z via wishes.
Whatever. So, we cut to Sonic, Amy, and Tails at this point. Sonic goes, that creep Eggman never gives up, blowing up the moon and whatnot.
I'm not scared. Even though, the most likely target of that cannon is, Sonic's uvula.
Computer, lock onto Sonic the Hedgehog for me and only Sonic the Hedgehog.
Please, I don't care where he is, just blow him up.
Set it for such a widespread that he literally cannot outrun it, please.
I can't deal with him anymore. And he watches it coming and he's like, it doesn't look that fast. And then he disintegrates and the game is over. And Kristen wins.
So they work out as well that this has got to be the power of the Chaos Emerald. He just says that because of course it is.
That's
it's
the only
always
thing that emits power. It's not nuclear energy or anything. What's that? Oh, we live in a world without nuclear war. How novel.
Tails pulls an emerald out of his ass at this point, and
I wrote Tails. I had this diamond up my butt.
He explains that the Chaos Emeralds are like stand users, that they are naturally drawn to each other, and this is how they will find out where Eggman is, even though this plan doesn't work.
Isn't it clear that he is up in space? Whatever. I did write in my notes, Mission Street is next, isn't it?
The police are here. Tails gets the fuck out of there. Sonic's like, I'll handle the police.
Let's go.
And they leave Amy behind.
Because they just don't care about her.
So, Kristen, Mission Street.
Yeah.
This is the mission where you get the hover boots for Tails.
Would you like to know what my first note for Mission Street is?
Fuck this.
I wrote, well, I walked right off the edge of Mission Street. And it was in the direction opposite of where you get the hover boots. And my note was, no hint that could have prevented that from happening, Omochao? You could have been like, hey, actually go back in the other direction. I'm Omochao and I'm here to help, maybe?
So, Kristen, Mission Street looks exactly like Radical Highway. I like this less than Radical Highway, of course. Mm-hmm. And, there's that bridge that falls, and then behind you are the hover boots. I got across that bridge the first time, and I knew that the hover boots were down there, but I was like, let's see how far I could go without them.
I'm sure that went awesome.
Well, so there's this part where you gotta hit a missile to blow up some boxes.
Yep.
And the street crumbles underneath your feet, so you need to hover, and I couldn't get past that, and that's where I got a game over.
I believe that is where Big the Cat was sitting in one of the underneath parts of the highway and just stone cold watched me fall to my death when he could have helped me.
Let me tell you, there's that part where, the rolling things from Radical Highway that move up and down, right after that.
I hate that.
So I threaded the needle and fell through that twice.
Nice.
Without the hover
I'm not
boots.
the only idiot on this podcast. There's a lot of grabbing onto those pulleys, basically, that shoot you upward. Mm-hmm. And one of the notes I took was that I love the implication that Tails' twink arms can support the weight of a whole mech.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That's no real explanation for that.
So one of the things that I did realize, internet isn't amazing here, so my connection to PlayStation Now I'm streaming this game in order to play it, isn't great. And when you are trying to thread the needle and hover at the correct height, when your button prompts don't work, it's a little bit frustrating. A jet knocked me into a hole and gave me a game over! And I have my next two notes after that are, I fell platforming. I love it! I fell again!
So, Kristen, the basic gist of this stage is, of course, that you are running away.
This is only the beginning of my problems in this section, by the way.
You are avoiding police capture, you're jamming the holograms, and one thing I noticed, Kristen, it's hard not to notice. There are those LCD billboards that basically say, wanted, Miles Tails Prower, which have, his profile on them, and if you stop to read it, it says things like race, fox, and height, small.
really descriptive things that you would need in order to catch a hero fox.
These billboards must be just reserved for actual humans, so they're just probably just like, people are probably like, why is the stuffed animal wanted? I don't understand.
That's a funny joke.
This level also has the same problem as Radical Highway, where there are jets bombing you the entire time, leading to some very cheap hits.
There was an area where you were walking across a bridge that has like some beams that are going horizontal above you that some robots are on, and then you knock over some of the weird platforming pillars to jump up to a higher area to get some height for your next jump. The first time I got to this area, knocked over one of the pillars, jumped up on it, jumped up over to the next section, no fucking problem. Later, between one of my deaths, I was doing that section again and could not, for the life of me, jump onto the thing and then jump onto the next section of the platform. And I got stuck there, and I was like, did I break it? What did I do? So I just walked myself off the edge, like, I'll reset it and see if that can fix it. And no, I just happened to do it very, very well the first time, and mistakenly thought it was easy. This is a video game for children.
Krista, what do you give Mission Street out of 10?
0. I give it a big middle finger.
It's not as bad as Sand Ocean.
I give it Tails, his Chaos Emerald, straight back up his butt. Fuck this level.
I gave it a 5, which it should be worse, because it's definitely worse than Lost Colony.
Took me 5 minutes and 14 seconds.
But we're moving back to the dark story at this point here, Kristen. It's time for the stage that you dreaded, the stage that you thought you could not beat.
This ended up being one of the least frustrating parts of this section of levels for me. I was very scared when I started, but it only took me 3 tries.
Security Hall is a stage that is nerve-wracking because you have a 5-minute time limit, Kristen. It's a Rouge stage where you gotta get the Chaos Emeralds, and it's actually not that big of a stage. The problem is, and I forgot that you had to do this, was you gotta, like, turn on the cell blocks a lot of times, because...
Yep, that was exactly my problem as well. Omo Chow was like, hey, dig into the center of the vault to open it. And I was like, yes, I remember needing to do that. And then I thought to myself, but doesn't there need to be a blinking image on it for me to open it? And that's true, but it takes Omo Chow, you know, when he fucking feels like it, to be like, oh, there's switches upstairs. And then all of a sudden I have 5 seconds left and I finally hit the switch that I need to switch. And I'm like, well, okay, great. And I didn't know that if you run out of time, you start over with all 3 emeralds again. Yep. Whereas if you die, you get to keep the emeralds you still have.
Oh, good.
I learned that lesson the hard way.
So, Kristen, my experience with Security Hall was the first emerald was in the first enemy that's directly in front of you on the stage.
Well, that must be nice.
Which was nice. And then I spent about 3 minutes before realizing I needed to turn on the one thing. Mm-hmm. So I turned it on and had to do it again for another location, which was annoying that you had to go up to that fucking section twice.
Yep.
And I finished with 14 seconds left, and it took me 1 try.
Nice. Yeah, again, took me 3 tries. I purposely killed myself twice because I knew I was running out of time and wouldn't make it and wanted to keep my emerald. And I feel like I had over a minute left the time I actually finished. I didn't take notes for the dark story, so I don't know for sure.
I also like Security Hall's music a lot.
It's good. I wish Eggman wasn't screaming at you the whole time.
That's a problem, yes. At the end of every minute, Eggman's like, Rouge, what are you doing? Rouge, come on! And
he starts out angry, and he gets angrier.
After 3 minutes, Eggman's like, Rouge, you're taking longer than you should have. And
he tells you that you have 7 minutes or 8 minutes at the beginning, and Rouge is like, I'll do it in 5. Bitch, no one told you to do that!
And at 3 minutes, he says it's taking you longer than you said it would. No, I think you probably heard me wrong.
There was a miscommunication on so many levels here. Yeah, Security Hall, I got a little bit, near the end. I also didn't realize it was going to come up too soon, so as I was going through the dark story, after finishing my very frustrating run with the hero story, which I split into 2 sittings, I was like, oh shit, when's Security Hall? And as I was thinking out, it came up, and I went, no!
I give it 5 Chaos Emeralds out of 7 because it has that annoying shit there, but still, it's, no real way to tell you that you need to turn on the vaults, which is, unless you fucking trial and error, I guess, which, kind of shitty.
I did much better than I expected to based on my memories of it as a child, so no hard feelings, Security Hall, many hard feelings for later Rouge stages.
So, Kristen, now we've got Flying Dog here.
Did you want to do a boss battle as Rouge?
Do you remember Bigfoot?
Yes.
Do you remember Hotshot?
Yes.
And now they're even easier.
God, this was so easy and so fast.
You climb up the walls that are in this area, you fly into the cockpit of the robot, it's easy.
Even when, it was doing something other than just the normal, like, railgun attack. That was my last hit on it. I climbed up onto the boxes and ran into it. It also hit me at the same time I hit it, but I still damaged it, even though it didn't flash red, and then it died. Oh. So I was like, okay, cool.
This fight also ignores the time limit from the last stage, which is a little immersion breaking when I only had 14 seconds left.
There are more immersion breaking things with Rouge.
Well,
we'll talk about them. First, we're gonna do Aquatic Mine, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna move into Aquatic Mine here. You're sort of just here to start. Again, Knuckles is just like, wow, I dug in the pumpkin place, and here I am in the mines?
Well, more ghosts, I guess, so we're on brand.
Kristen, I don't like Aquatic Mine.
It's not great. The setup of it is very confusing, and I feel like it doesn't do a good job kind of letting you know what the switches do and how they affect where you need to go. So I meandered around there. It took me 6 minutes and 25 seconds to beat this stupid stage. And 5 minutes into my first playthrough, I got stuck and couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do. So I killed myself.
The gimmick of the level is raising and lowering water levels, which, Kristen, I find that the best thing to do is go to the top of the stage immediately and just get rid of the water.
Yeah, just get it out of there.
Because more than likely, that's what your problem is. Like, the water's too high, so it's pushing up those platforms and shit that's blocking your way into the areas of the stage that actually have the emeralds.
Yeah, basically. My last one before I beat the stage, I had to drain the water completely, but it was hard to tell because I was on the opposite side of a wall of where the slope from where the emerald was. And being on the other side of the wall, my radar was red.
So you're I was like, where is it?
I was like, I don't understand what it wants me to do because the entrance to that hallway was like way further on the other side, which made the radar get weaker. And it's just not good level design. And the music's not great.
No.
There is a very annoying dripping noise throughout the entire level.
That too.
It gave me a fucking migraine.
The music is very mellow for the stage, so much that the song itself is called Dive Into the Mellow. And, Krista, I'm just curious why there's still ghosts in Aquatic Mine.
I dive into some water and fucking drown myself. So I don't have to play this video game anymore because I'm dead.
Why are there still ghosts in this level?
Because people died in the mine. It's me. It's my ghost. My vengeful ghost coming back and being like, God damn it, Knuckles.
Why are there ghosts from Pumpkin Hill to the fucking pyramids?
Mummies. Obviously.
Whatever. I realized as well, Kristen, that even though aesthetically they share nothing here, Security Hall and Aquatic Mine do share a gimmick of needing to go to the top of the stage to, like, fuck with shit, to access areas that you couldn't before.
They're trying to teach you these gimmicks at, like, an even level. I wonder if this is the way that you are supposed to play these levels, just kind of somewhat back and forth getting pieces of the story, because I don't know how any of it's supposed to make sense otherwise.
So let's move on to White Jungle here, Kristen. White Jungle is a stage that is aesthetically exactly like Green Forest.
It sure is.
We've got a cutscene to start, though. Shadow is walking, and Rouge gets on the radio here. She's in a bad spot because apparently she ended up trapping herself now, thanks to getting caught by Flying Dog.
So, what's Rouge's game here? She's gonna let the people she works for kill her? She beat that robot, she got all the Chaos Emeralds, and then sitting in a very wide open area that Shadow can easily access later, she claims that she got locked inside of a vault. That's all a lie!
You know what? Maybe her initial gambit was, I'm going to get the Chaos Emeralds here, and then I'm going to take them to the president. They didn't account for Shadow rescuing Rouge?
Who knows? Yeah, maybe the whole thing was a lie. Maybe, nope, because the bombs go off, so it's not a lie. So Rouge was just ready to go out Armageddon style. Because I don't want to miss a thing.
I was about to do My Heart Will Go On for some reason.
Nope.
Nope, it's the Aerosmith song.
Even I knew that, and I don't think I've seen Armageddon. I've seen that music video, though.
So, Shadow starts getting flashes of, oh, I wrote Mario. Nice.
Yeah. Wow.
He gets flashes of Super Mario 64, and his conscience kicks in. He goes, look, I never got to play Super Mario 64 with Rouge. I gotta save her.
It doesn't have two-player mode, so why do I care?
3DS version does.
It does.
Normal DS, excuse me.
Yeah, wait. When I went to the round 1 in Exton with Madeline, there was a sit-in first-person shooter Luigi's Mansion game.
What?
And it was fucking awesome. The vacuum that you use to kill ghosts and shit, you could also use it to suck up coins. And when you sucked up coins, the gun had this haptic feedback that made it feel like metal was shooting into it.
Dang.
It was super cool. We ate a lot of ghosts. Anyway, Mario.
So, Maria is what he actually gets the flashes of here, because I guess any lady reminds him of Maria, and whatever. So
yeah, he starts thinking about how he once shared his hopes and dreams with this ugly little girl. He's like, I feel like if I go down to Earth, I'll find my purpose. Perhaps my purpose is to save a hot bat.
Perhaps my purpose is to go on slingshot things in the jungle.
I feel like that's it. And Maria's just like, what? And he makes the surfer gesture at her and goes, extreme! And then she shoots him down to Earth.
That's the only discernible difference between Green Forest and White Jungle is they're the slingshot things.
They're
in
fine.
This stage. Yeah, I gave it a 6 because it's got decent music. You get the light dash here, so you get to do some of that, I guess, and that's pretty much it.
I think I died twice on White Jungle, but I do distinctly remember the second time was some bullshit because the stage started and I didn't happen to be pointing the joystick forward. So Shadow just went, nah, fuck it, and just went down off the edge. And I was like, okay, cool, that's what we're doing. Shadow just gave up and suddenly it's my fault and I'm the idiot with the game over.
So Shadow's wandering around in the forest at this point, and then we got, I found you, faker!
Oh god, this again!
So, Sonic versus Shadow, again, here we are, we fucking Back to the Future
just
ourselves.
Just unlock him and kill him!
I'm the only real Sonic
God,
around
we just
here.
went over this, shut up!
Same fight, still very easy. So, Sonic hears, again, that the island's gonna blow up, but we see Shadow at this point. There's a shot of the bomb with 1 minute left that suddenly becomes 5 seconds.
Time means nothing. It's like the upside down bomb from Futurama when they did the parody of Armageddon.
And now Kristen, with no emerald, Shadow goes, Chaos Control, and saves Rouge, and that's it.
Doesn't Rouge have a bouquet of 3 Chaos Emeralds in her cleavage?
How close to the Chaos Emeralds does Shadow need to be?
He shoves his face right into her boobs. Chaos Control.
Island blows up again. We don't see Tails escaping at this point, so yeah, even though it's from the exact same angle. We've got a blue-tinted cutscene of Shadow and Mario here.
Oh, here's the boring shit. Wah!
She's just like, what do you think Earth's like, Shadow?
We were kids born in space. You're my only friend. If I lived on Earth, you better bet I wouldn't be talking to a hedgehog. I'm blonde and pretty. Allegedly.
Shadow's like, according to Professor Gerald, Earth is great. It's super cool. And he wants to make everybody happy through science.
Why? What happened to Shadow? Like, how hard did he bonk his head that he went full evil?
Kristen, the fact that you said that there's a lady born in space here reminds me of Star Trek Voyager.
Oh.
So the plot of Star Trek Voyager is this ship gets stranded 70,000 light years away from Earth, which will take them 70 years to get back to Earth here. And that's basically their entire journey is them going back. So a child gets born on Voyager, and when it's just like, hey, don't you want to return to Earth? It's just like, I've lived here for my entire life. Why would I want to do that?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm missing. The spaceship is pretty sweet.
So Shadow starts doing at this point the whole, why was I created? I just don't know anymore, Mario. What am I fighting for?
And Maria goes, wah.
And Rouge is here. And Rouge is here, and she goes, wah! And
wah!
And Shadow's like, what the fuck?
Oh god. This is really getting freaky.
Rouge goes, why are you staring out into space?
I get it, because it's space out there.
Rouge says that her being rescued by Shadow was really weird and out of character, and she doesn't even thank him. She's just like, wow, Chaos Control really came in handy, didn't it?
I was never in any danger. I'm a double agent for the president, by the way. Oh, see ya.
Shadow then goes, I was saving the Chaos Emeralds, not you, dumb woman, no.
Oh no, he's tsundere.
Eggman arrives at this point, and he clears his throat very loudly to the point where it's in front of whatever Shadow
Stop
and Rouge...
flirting!
Eggman's like, alright, cool, we got 6 emeralds, let's rock and roll with this laser cannon. And Rouge's just like, we got 6, but dudes, there's still 1 more that we need.
Shadow's like, that's fine, let's go.
So, we've got this cutscene again, we've got the weird alien child gripping her mother's hand. I am smart. Moon blows up. There should be pandemonium, whatever.
Instead, there's a generally unaffected public. Let's move on.
So after this, Eggman's like hitting the console a bunch of times because there isn't actually any pandemonium.
Rouge doesn't seem to care. She's like, cool, so we like rule the world now, right?
We could do whatever we want. And apparently Shadow's just like with his arms crossed, like looking away. Oh, it looks like our threats fell on deaf ears. You blew up the moon! What do
Who
you
cares?
What do you need to do to scare the public?
It's the most bored human race in any work of fiction ever.
Shadow says that it's going to take a long time for the cannon to power up now, too much time with 6 emeralds. They need 7, even though he said, 6 is fine for a demonstration, whatever.
Eggman now decides that Rouge should probably start pulling her weight after getting them 3 emeralds? Hello! But he needs the 4th one of that bunch. Actually, the 7th one. Math is complicated.
So she produces a newspaper at this point. It's got Tails on it.
In her cleavage.
Apparently, Tails was given an emerald by saving Station Square or something. It doesn't
Sure.
A missile attack? I don't think that's in reference to Sonic Adventure 1. Station Square was a place in Sonic Adventure 1. I have no idea.
I don't know. But Tails is a hero. Eggman's like, I know that! I've seen that Fox Man. Oh, now is a good time to mention I feel like Maria and Tails are the same voice actress.
I also like how the newspaper, when Eggman is reading it, refers to Tails as a boy.
Little boy.
So Eggman, reads out loud about Tails getting the emerald, and he's like, well, shit, that makes it easy. Let's go get that emerald.
Rouge is like, you coming, Shadow? Looking all weird again.
And he goes, soon enough, Maria.
My name is Rouge.
Mariouge.
Ew, that sounds stinky.
They all leave except for Rouge. She stays and she's just like, get me the President of the United States!
She might as well say that out loud. She has this top secret conversation just in the middle of this lab that, if Eggman were smart, would have,
cameras.
Yeah, any kind of monitoring technology at all. But she's like, well, so I'm trying to figure out if this creepy hedgehog is the ultimate life form or not. Not sure. Holy shit, Joe, I just remembered Shadow's not the ultimate life form, right?
Nope.
Oh my god, I just remembered the plot twist!
Spoiler alert.
It doesn't matter. What lizard? And then Rouge goes, and don't forget about my jewels. And lizard.
So is she a double, triple agent? Is she a jewel thief recruited by the president to
get jewels?
A jewel thief recruited by the president to thieve jewels.
Hey, I get it. I follow that logic.
When you're good at something, you may as well do it.
Why not? She has big bat boobs and she can fit a lot of stuff in there.
Route 101, Kristen. We join Tails and Amy talking back in the hero story here. Apparently the tornado can turn into a car because it's just a car right now.
Why not? Go for it.
He's talking with Sonic on the phone here, and Sonic on the other line is like, sheesh, there's always a lot of police around when you don't need them.
Yo, you tell him, Sonic. Fight the power. Bang bang, cop killer.
The emerald couldn't help Tails find Eggman, and then Amy
How hard did he try? Off screen they were like, nah.
So he surmises maybe Eggman took the emeralds into outer space.
Outer space?
In those exact cadences, and then it takes Amy about 15 seconds here. There's a lot of awkward silence as there is a manhole noise happening at this point, but the camera doesn't pan to the
shit. Knuckles is here.
The camera doesn't pan to the manhole for a few seconds here because Knuckles is just like, oh, must have taken a wrong turn at Albuquerque. What's up, Doc?
I love when he comes out. He literally is like, I got really lost in those mines. I ended up in a sewer.
Hey guys, long time no see.
Hey, what's up? He's super chill about it. Knuckles is probably my favorite character just because he doesn't give a shit. He's just kind of on board. He's like, yeah, okay.
Amy then drags Knuckles out of this manhole because it is directly in front of Tails' car, and Tails is just like, I gotta get over to the president, I guess.
I decided just now I need to go find the president. I hacked into a government database. I'm Synergy. I found the Taps Tucker band.
I'm already wanted for felony. May as well just commit another.
Who cares? Add it to the list.
So Tails needs to rush to get to the president's limo here. Kristen, if they track this call, they can find Eggman because they found out that Eggman and the president are going to have a meeting or something like that, whatever.
Whatever. Apparently Sonic is running there.
Sonic is running there, yes. Amy and Knuckles get left behind because whatever.
Who cares?
For the third cutscene in a row, Amy's like, well, wait for me!
So Route 101 happens. It is the first of 2 kart games that we played. Do you want to know the good news about Route 101?
It's easy.
I only died once.
Was it a time limit thing, or can you drive
No,
off
I
the
fell
edge?
off the edge.
Okay.
I can't remember how. I am haunted by visions of what happens later in the other kart stage, which I know exactly what happened. If you were interested in watching some of that, I did live stream it on Periscope, and you can find that on the CWTA pod Twitter.
Nice. The only good thing I could say about Route 101 is the fact that we are spared a Tails mech level in the process, because it is a pretty easy stage. It's not, whatever. You're driving, you get some rings, I'd said it's almost impossible to fail with the time limit that they give you as well.
Hey, there's some walls. That's nice.
I give a 5 power boost out of 10, because whatever.
Give it a 4.
So we join the president's limo already in progress here,
Kristen. We join our very ugly president already in progress. So this is George W. Bush, right?
He looks kind of lanky and goofy, and I guess he's George W. Bush.
I guess so.
We've got a secretary that we don't see who is listing off things and just being like, the country is in turmoil, Mr. President.
Is it?
And the first thing that the president says is, spare me the details, which I thought he was saying to the secretary.
I thought so too, which is just like, wow, he doesn't give a shit.
Let me know when the White House is in danger, goddammit.
Call me when it's like an Independence Day sort of situation. The moon, who gives a shit? America doesn't have jurisdiction over the moon.
We put our flag there, but who gives a shit?
Yeah, the flag might still be there. We can't see from here.
Why am I turning the president into Vince McMahon?
I don't know.
They look kind of similar? Maybe. Just by being virtue of...
Ugly?
With gray hair, yeah.
Ugly with gray hair.
Actually, the president is talking to Eggman here because he wants to, spare me the details. What do you want, Dr. Eggman? And Eggman goes, I'll spare you the details. I just said spare me the details. Please.
Great!
Fuck.
We're on the same page!
I want complete surrender of your country. They don't say America.
And not the other ones.
Complete surrender of your country to the Eggman Empire. Otherwise... I'll blow it up with a laser.
We don't get to hear the president's response because Sonic is also caught up.
So yeah, Sonic is running beside the fucking president's limo.
He broke through the motorcade. He killed a man.
2 people dead. And Sonic goes, no way! After the whole, I'm going to blow up America with a laser. And he could hear this conversation outside the car, I guess, as well.
Real secure, Mr. President. Do they have loudspeakers that are just blaring that in front of him instead of Hail to the Chief?
So he jumps into the limo via the open sunroof at this point.
Nice security, Mr. President!
And Sonic goes, Eggman Empire! Yeah, right! As Eggman and the president talk over him.
They're both kind of saying something to the effect of, God damn it!
The president wants to know, why the fuck is this cartoon monster in my limo?
And then Tails is also there too, and the president just is starting to feel outnumbered at this point. What we didn't see is that Tails picks up his secretary and just chucks her out of the sunroof. Don't need her. Not enough room in this limo for all of us. I have some Fox shit to do.
He triangulated Eggman's position, so they find out he's been broadcasting from Ark. You don't say. You don't say.
You mean that big thing that's up in space? Where the laser came from? With his face on it.
They leave the president, and Deadpan Secretary is still here, and she's just like, Mr. President, we have an incoming message from a bat with big boobs.
I got back into the car.
But fuck that, Kristen. Time for more car levels.
So, Joe, it was at this point in Route 280 is when I began complaining on Twitter about how Sonic Adventure 2 is a bad video game. And then all of a sudden my friends started coming at me, and they were like, take that back. And I said to them, excuse me, have you played it recently? Because I am playing it right now, and I can tell you definitively that this is a bad video game.
Doesn't hold up.
It took me over 10 tries, maybe close to 20, to beat Route 280. This is what I have on Periscope, is just me as Rouge banging into walls over and over and over. And again, I must emphasize that my connection to PlayStation Now was not great, because it was fucking with some of my drifting ability. Now is also a good time to mention, I tried to use the shoulder buttons to drift during Tails stage. Well, fuck me, because the drift button is also the accelerate button.
Yep, it's not F-Zero.
No, I was thinking like kind of a Mario Kart approach would be, the smart thing to do. How many years had Mario Kart been out before this happened?
Many.
But no, you can't directionally drift. You just kind of either have straight control or zero control where you're going... There's lots of 90-degree turns. I just straight up ran into one of the walls so much that my collision exploded and I flew through the wall and bounced to my death. I hit that big ramp during one of those gaps where you could either go to the left or right or over. And when I hit the ramp, I just fell down the gap. I didn't make it all the way over, even though I feel like I hit it pretty well. Route 280 is bad. This video game is bad.
Route 280 is pretty bad, Kristen. Rouge gets her own Batmobile as well. It's worth noting.
It looks like a pointy dick.
It kind of does.
Sucks.
I gave Route 280 4 90-degree turns out of 10, Kristen, because I didn't have too much trouble with Route 2. I didn't like it, but I didn't have very much trouble with it.
I really, really, truly, and sincerely hope that my connection to PlayStation Now is actually the root of my problems. Because, granted, I didn't play that many racing games or kart games in my lifetime. You were big on Mario Kart, I wasn't really. I never got super great at it. I'm not bad at video games, Joe.
I know you're not. That's the thing. You're not bad at video games. You're bad at styles of video games. I'm not great at fighting games, but I really like them.
I don't like this game at all.
Hidden Base.
Okay, so at this point, when everyone is hanging out outside of Eggman's pyramid, all of a sudden, like, I had a dawning terror coming, and I just said, like, oh no, I remembered the pyramid shit. Please don't make me do the Sonic stage in this group.
We're getting there.
Starting with Hidden Base, I actually played Hidden Base a little bit and then got a game over. And then I stopped for the night and I texted you and I said, Joe, this isn't going to work.
So we join everyone outside of Eggman's pyramid here, Kristen. Knuckles apparently saw Eggman and Rouge go into this pyramid.
He has very good eyes. Knuckles, what do you see with your echidna eyes?
I see a bat lady and an egg guy.
Oh, what was that voice?
It's me, Zipper.
No!
So, I forget who said this. It's probably Tails. We should be able to get into outer space from there. If not,
assumptions.
If not, it's probably Sonic. That seems like a Sonic assumption.
Everyone's an idiot in this game, so I say anything is possible.
And then once they get to space, I'm gonna kick their butts out of the airlock, probably.
Straight to death. They're gonna choke to death in space. It's gonna be awesome. That actually happens to Shadow.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Tails goes to find the entrance here. That is Hidden Base, Kristen. Hidden Base is like Sand Ocean if it were actually good.
No.
You don't like Hidden
Because you gotta do a lot of platforming and there's not any rails, Joe.
So you don't like Hidden Base very much.
I fell into the sand a lot.
Now, I fell into the sand a lot too, but because I was impatient was the problem. Because they like doing this thing. So, I talked about before, artificial, like, stuff that takes up time that gives you the illusion that you're doing something, basically.
You mean those breakable slabs?
In this stage, yes, there's breakable slabs that take about 3 or 4 shots to be destroyed. And so what they like doing in this stage is having those breakable slabs and then having a platform that's just slightly lower down than the platform that you're going off of. So if you're running directly forward, you kind of fall down onto that platform and you don't have enough time. The game does not give you enough time to jump after you kind of go from one height to another. So
you walk straight into the sand
you run directly into the sand, which I did do twice.
Yeah, so my first note was Hidden Base. I jumped straight into the sand. Fuck this. Then I took a break for a day. And then my next note from the next day is I jumped straight into the sand again. One of the other problems, I had another platforming problem in this one. There's the one area where it's kind of a narrow section, and right in front of you there are metal boxes that you can't break yet, so you have to go up an area where there's the breakable, like, gas tanks.
Right.
And then the last one to get you up, it appears to be a height that you cannot jump. And I tried for minutes. I just kept jumping at the wall. And I was like, I probably did something wrong. I shouldn't be down here. So I jumped into the sand. Uh-huh. And I was like, I'll start from the last checkpoint. And I was there again. And I think I did that 3 times before I finally just got it at the right angle and whoop, oh, no, there I go. I'm where I need to be.
Kristen, I'm sorry you have so much trouble with these levels, with these jumps that...
I am too! I really, really hope it's my internet connection.
This level is okay. Like I said, it's twice as good as Sand Ocean, which means I got a 6 from me. But I'd say that there aren't any like annoying gimmicks in it or anything. I don't like the walls necessarily, but they're not annoying.
I beat Hidden Base with 0 lives left, and I wrote, fuck this game forever, rank E, and 0 out of 10.
Pyramid Cave, Kristen.
Joe, what time did you get on Pyramid Cave?
I want to say about 5 or 6 minutes. I'm not certain.
8 minutes and 37 seconds.
Now, Kristen, can I ask the reason that Pyramid Cave took you so long? Is it the long hallway where you hit the hourglass and you get grabbed by the grabby ghost? You get grabbed by the ghoulies by Rare.
Yes, that took me 3 tries. I only died once. I hit a speed pad and then didn't hit the ramp that I was supposed to, and I jumped over the ramp that was supposed to launch me really far, and I just went straight into the pit. So that was pretty funny, actually. But yeah, the ghost hallway, that is super, super long and so irritating because you can't necessarily actually dictate where Sonic will go in order to miss the ghosts. So if I wasn't sure I could just kind of like zigzag past them, I jumped over them, which slows you down.
Yeah, the ghosts also move in a seemingly random pattern.
Yep, I was very close to getting it the second time, but I rolled at the last second by accident, and I fell into the pit instead of going through the door, which was awesome.
Why do they put that there?
They couldn't put the reset in a better place? Jesus. And yeah, on my third try, I just made it through, and I wrote, the ghost hallway took 5 years off of my life.
You also get the bounce in this stage, Kristen, which is an interesting power-up, but ultimately isn't used for much other than you bounce 2 or 3 times to get up to a higher platform.
And I was thinking as I was playing this, I'm like, do you use this skill much later?
Here we are again with kind of artificial padding of length of the level, where the bounce is something that just kind of all it accomplishes is taking a little bit more time for you to get to somewhere.
Yeah,
and
it's super fun.
You've also got the key things that you pick up and run with, which Sonic isn't really a game where you pick stuff up.
No. Those parts, those were just annoying. They weren't hard or anything. No. They just took more time. On the big long section where you need to get the key, I hit one of the rails and floated over a lot of the stuff that was on the bottom, which I actually think is a mistake if you want to do that section quickly. I think it makes a lot more sense to just go through the bottom and kill a lot of the enemies on your way over to get the key, so you don't have to deal with them on your way back.
I always take the rail.
Yeah, it looks sweet.
Pyramid Cave is not a fun level, Kristen. I gave it 4 grabby ghosts out of 10.
It looks good, and I did better than I thought I would, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I don't want to play it again, and I won't.
It's got decent music, too.
It's fine. Again, visually, it's very nice.
Death Chamber!
So how long did Death Chamber take you?
Death Chamber took me quite a bit of time. I'm going to say about 7 or 8 minutes.
It took me 9 minutes and 49 seconds.
Because, now, keep in mind, Kristen, now I don't know if you're playing this way. I'm not using the hints in Death Chamber either, so...
If I got really annoyed, that's when I start to use hints.
So do you remember Egg Quarters, Kristen?
No, explain it to me.
Death Chamber is the exact same level as Egg Quarters, but worse.
Yeah, it sure is. Again, I started this level, and I got to the areas that have the metal boxes, and I thought, fuck, wait. Shit. I don't know where the power-up is. So I spent most of my time trying to figure out where the hell the power-up is.
I can't remember if I got the power-up. I'm not sure.
You definitely had to.
No, I had to have. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, okay, because so many of the hallways are blocked with metal boxes. The only way you would have beaten it without the power-up is if you fucking clipped through shit.
So, well, before Death Chamber, we have a little cutscene here. So, they're standing at possibly the same door, or possibly a different door.
Who knows?
Rouge encountered earlier to enter Eggman's base. And Sonic, for some reason, is like, Eggman probably has 1 or 2 spaceships lying around this pyramid base.
I mean...
He's not wrong, which is the problem.
Yeah. So Tails, very astute, looks at the door and says, I think we need a key!
And Sonic immediately turns and goes, all right, Knuckles, go get the key! And Knuckles is like, why me?
Yeah, even he's like, seriously?
Because we need to give you a level here, you dumbass!
Sonic says he's a great treasure hunter, which I don't think so. Pretty sure he's a mediocre emerald protector. But it's a Knuckles stage now. Death Chamber doesn't have great music either.
No, and also, Kristen, I'm angry the Death Chamber took me so long because also as well, I found a key inside one of the gammas, like, almost immediately.
Again. I didn't have that. Why do you keep getting the easy things? The game hates me, specifically.
So, it alleviated some of the strain. I'm still giving it 3 not grabby ghosts out of 10, because fuck it. Don't like it.
It was fine. I care so little I don't actually have a rating for it.
Kristen, we're stopping off the hero story with this here, where Knuckles is hanging out, and he finds himself in a room with a ghost!
Scoob.
Zoinks.
Jinkies. So I'm really not looking forward to doing King Boom Boo. I remember it being a little bit fucking annoying.
Yep. King Boom Boo is a ghost, a big ghost, a gross-looking ghost, a grost.
I didn't even see that you wrote that. I'm surprised they were legally allowed to call it King Boom Boo.
I don't know. Yeah, that's actually King Boo? No, would have not been a thing just yet because Luigi's Mansion came out after.
Is that the first game King Boo is in?
I believe so.
What? That seems crazy.
Let me actually.
I'm gonna Google Super Mario Wiki, the Mario Encyclopedia.
Yes, Luigi's Mansion actually came out 3 or 4 months after Sonic Adventure 2.
Holy shit! That has to be the only reason that they were allowed to do that.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm pretty sure King Boo, though, first was the big bad guy of Luigi's Mansion.
I like any kind of Boo. I find them very cute. This guy is a gross motherfucker.
How have I never played Luigi's Mansion?
You did.
Not all the way.
Well, okay. You said you never played it, not that you never beat it.
Maybe we'll give it another chance eventually. Who knows?
We moved on to bigger and better things, such as Sonic Adventure 2.
Such as Skyrail.
So Skyrail is a thing. I don't have too much bad will towards Skyrail because I played through Route 280 into Skyrail on my Periscope stream, so you can see I actually beat it pretty quickly.
Skyrail, Kristen, one thing I did actually want to note at the end of Route 280 when Rouge catches up to Tails, Tails is like a weird shade, like a too orange of a shade of Tails.
I got radioactive! The tornado was not supposed to be a car!
This is what happens!
It's overheating! I'm irradiated now! An arm's growing out of my forehead!
Rouge gives the word to Shadow that Tails is flying past the Pumpkin Hill area, because I guess that's where Shadow is for some reason.
Everyone's jet-setting around, ain't they?
I guess this takes place before they get to the pyramid, I guess?
I don't know.
So Kristen, if Skyrail is before they get into the pyramid, what happens between Skyrail and then very next cutscene? Because the dark story, and we're going to end here, this episode, with the dark story ahead of the hero story, by virtue of nothing happening in the dark story for the entirety of them doing stuff in the pyramid in the hero story, I guess.
This chronology is mind-numbing.
But Skyrail. So, the gimmick of this stage is the bumpers with the fans at the bottom that go up when you homing attack them. And
that's fine.
They're fine. There's a lot of rails, as its name would imply, and I gotta say, the rails are cool, but you still have that problem where if you hit left or right at all,
yep,
you slow to a halt, basically.
So I'm trying to remember. It's well documented on the stream. I did die 3 or 4 times, but they were all in very quick succession. On one of the first bumper things, I mistakenly thought you needed to get a bounce thing as Shadow in order to use those, so just being confused, I accidentally walked off the edge. And then immediately after that, I realized that I was out of lives, so when I started on the first rail, I said fuck it and just jumped off. Just in case I died later, because I didn't want to start over. And then later, I was on the edge of something, bounced off in the wrong direction, caught the edge of the cliff, and then just flew off. Much like in Green Jungle or whatever. I
had one death that made me very angry, Kristen, considering Skyrail was the very last thing I needed to do. And actually, I forgot to do Death Chamber, so I had to go back and do Death Chamber the next day.
Fun.
But Skyrail, there's a very thin rail, like a very thin piece of rebar or something to the goal ring. Uh-huh. And I somehow threaded the needle to where I was on that rail, and then, whoop, going to the left, missed the ring completely, fall to my death.
Boing! One of the other times I died was I was grinding. There was at one point in my stream where I hit the rail at a weird angle and was just going very slow. And I just said that the pace is staggering. But yeah, so I accidentally hit a button to switch the rails and just flew off because I was surprised and didn't know what I was doing. And then when I got to the end of the level, I was very surprised, and I was just like, oh, shit, okay, and I jumped straight up into the ring and finished.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, Skyrail can take, like, less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, I died a couple of times there, but it was in such quick succession that I got back on the horse real quick.
It was, yeah, I'm probably not rating it fairly because it's okay. I gave it 5 bumper fans out of 10. It was the last level I needed to do, so I was probably just angry.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm probably going to continue periscoping me being very mad at Sonic in the future.
So we're ending off here, Kristen, with a cutscene before Egg Golem, which is actually...
I didn't watch it.
It's the exact same cutscene that happens after you beat King Boom Boo. So we may as well have just done King Boom Boo, but fuck it. We'll save that for next time. So
whatever.
The hero team is just kind of hanging out after doing their shit in the pyramid, and then Eggman shows himself. His theme is playing louder than the people talking. I am the Eggman. Sonic takes a fucking kung fu pose, and Eggman says this time he's gonna take their lives as well as their emerald. Come forth, my servant!
So, I wonder what kind of hoops Eggman had to jump through in order to, like, harness these Egyptian monuments to just fuck around, put robot brains in them that get broken real easy, all things considered.
This is the Egg Golem, yes, who I don't know if he's like pieces of a statue that there are robot parts underneath. I think that's the case, yeah, because that's what the fight is like, because you gotta like blow away the rock face to hit the blinky parts in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, yeah, so what happens here is, you know, it's not very threatening either when you've got fucking Eggman's theme blaring in the background, and then Sonic jumps, at which point his theme starts playing. We get the whistle sound, and that shows that he has the clear advantage here, Kristen, and he does the fucking Super Sentai Terdia to kick the thing off.
Great, so apparently, see, I hadn't watched this cutscene, but I know what happens. It just fucks with the Egg Golem's head, and he's like, I think I'll actually kill Eggman.
Yeah, he calls it a piece of junk, Eggman does, and then the Egg Golem's like, what'd you fucking say about me, you bitch?
Excuse me? Would you like to say that to my face and see what happens?
So his hand starts going after Eggman, and Eggman goes, no! And the screen goes black. Kristen,
and he's dead, and the game is over.
This is where part 2 comes to a close. Knuckles is threatened by a ghost that will kill him. Eggman is threatened by his own creation, which I feel like happens at least once per game.
Yeah. Wow. I'm fatigued.
Maybe that's what happens when you fuck around with tech that you don't actually know about. Maybe Eggman's building shit that he doesn't actually know the inner workings of, which is why it ends up turning on him so much, maybe.
Yeah, there's alien technology inside that pyramid shit.
Maybe, yeah, it's like fucking... Wasn't Sonic Heroes all about Metal Sonic just being like, nah, fuck you, I'm gonna go do my own thing?
Oh, dude, I do not remember.
Metal Sonic is really cool and
I agree.
Is rarely utilized well.
Mm-hmm. I feel like every time we talk about Metal Sonic, I just say, yeah, he is cool, and I sound a little bit sad about it.
I need a toy of Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic is one of the bosses in Sonic Mania, and it's not my favorite fight.
No spoilers. I did see that there is... Fuck spoilers. There's a Mean Bean Machine boss.
There is. That's the boss of Chemical Plant.
Hell yes.
It's really good. All the retro stages that they bring back in Sonic Mania are really good. Except Flying Battery! Fuck that place.
So, yeah, I guess it's too late for us to play a good Sonic game, huh?
Hey, I can play Sonic Mania whenever I want, just not on podcast.
Yeah.
So, Kristen, we had a lot more going on in this episode with the story, but there was also a lot more crossover, I think.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a headache.
Oh, this is where, yeah, so the dark story ends ahead of the hero story, which is weird considering up until Skyrail they were behind, so...
Mm-hmm. We just jet forward real quick.
Fuck it, whatever. So, is the game still a slog for you, is my question here, Kristen. I believe the answer is yes.
It's starting to make me more motion sick.
You're getting that whole mom syndrome in you. Getting motion sick playing video games.
That's the thing I feel like I've had conditionally based on the video game that I'm playing. Because for a while, Fallout 3 made me motion sick.
That's weird.
I had to play Portal 2 in like 20-minute chunks, or else I would feel like yarfing. It's a little bit better now. Still, once in a while, I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna throw up when I'm playing games.
Well, hopefully you can get through parts 3 and 4, which...
I am so worried about the final story. I remember BioLizard. I'm scared.
Cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, forget what lizard. I didn't say anything about a lizard.
Now's the point in the evening where I'll list off all of the fun contact things where you could find us. You can follow us on the Twitter machine at CWTApod. You can follow me at Octopus. That's AWKTAPUS.
You can follow me at FunnyGirlTM, like trademark.
You can find us on the iTunes, on the SoundCloud, on the Stitcher Radio, on the YouTube. Leave a rating, give a review, do whatever you feel like. You can also drop us a line, cwtapod@gmail.com, where you can tell us all about your secret double, triple agent nature, or times you've accidentally called a bat Maria, or Mario.
Or Mario. And I forgot to mention at the top of the episode, but today Boudet was Label Day.
Today Day it's some kind of Labor Day-ver.
Labor Day-ver. And tomorrow's your birthday, so happy birthday.
Thank you. Next week, Kristen, we dive back into Gem with that old Houdini magic, an episode that needs to do literally nothing to be better than Music is Magic.
Yeah, the only thing I remember about this episode is that it is a Rapture episode, partially.
Rapture in this episode does not show her humanity, unlike the Riot and Minx episodes that we get.
Yep, Rapture's just always terrible, it turns out. But we were going back to an old favorite, Joe. Who is that?
Well, we're going back here. I don't want to shit on Paul Dini, because Paul Dini didn't write this episode, thank God. This episode is brought to us by Gina Bakar, who gave us Roxy Rumbles, so she's really gonna have to try hard to do something worse. For the Can We Talk About podcast, my name is Joe.
I am Kristen.
And join us next week where music will once again be magic. Fuck you, Paul Dini.
Magic in the mail!